I think this is a really good one, especially on the topic of links that we've been talking a lot about. A very common metric that people look for when they buy links is DR30 over 1,000 traffic. It's the most common quality sanity check metrics that you're going to see with backlinks. Now, I'm going to tell you that this can be very misleading, and in my opinion, relying just on DR30 and over 1K traffic domains is a trap, because there's other things that you need to be looking for. The first reason why relying on these is a trap is because these metrics can be easily manipulated. So DR30, you can literally go onto Fiverr right now, $5, $10, pay someone to boost your website's authority from 0 to like 60 with like $10, right? And then you ask me, Pat, what about the traffic metric, right? How are you going to fake the traffic metric? Well, the traffic metric can actually be faked as well when there's only 1, 2, or 3 pages on that entire website, which has like hundreds of pages, that's driving all of the traffic. So typically what people do is they try to rank for very long tail keywords, like a specific car auto manual or something like that. Or they look for really, really high search volume keywords. And then it's completely unrelated to the topic. And then they rank for that keyword. It's normally really obscure things like, like I was saying, like some sort of car manual or some sort of really random keyword like it'll be like ABCDEFG. And then what they do is on the back end, they'll get some sort of like CTR bot to drive up the traffic metrics on that particular keyword. And it'll look like their website is ranking for, 1,000 monthly visitors, but really it's coming from one gibberish keyword, or it's coming from like a gibberish page. So yeah, you essentially just paid like $300 for a dud backlink. So how do you tell and protect yourself against DR30 1K traffic backlinks? First thing you need to do is you need to expand the metrics that you look at when you're checking the backlinks. Number one is you want to look at which pages drive the most amount of traffic to that website. If it's only 1 or 2 pages with very gibberish keywords, then you know you're onto a dud. The second thing I would check is the traffic for that website growing or is it stable? If the traffic went up and then is now like on a very strong decline, that tells you something's wrong. Like Google clearly doesn't like this site. Maybe it used to have 10,000 monthly visitors. Now it has 1,000 monthly visitors. So if you see that graph on like Ahrefs or SEMrush go like this, you're like, whoa, something is really, really wrong here, right? So that's something else I would look for. Another thing that I look for is the backlink profile growing as well? Because a real genuine website should have more and more backlinks being accumulated over time because it's being mentioned in the news, mentioned by other people, or they're conducting SEO and they're just growing their company. So if you see the referring domains stable or growing, great, fantastic, that's good. If you see it declining over time, very worrisome. Or if you see it irregularly spike up and down like this, and then that tells you some sort of funny business is going on, like they're doing some sort of manipulative tactics or PBNs or something, and you probably don't want to be associated with that website. A less commonly known tactic to check whether or not a website is legitimate as well is the number of organic pages ranking in the top 100 positions. So on Ahrefs, you can actually see this. So you can see how many of their pages appear for keywords that are ranking in the top 100. If you see that graph is decreasing, then what that tells you is those pages are either being de-indexed or they're just being devalued by Google. And if a website has a very strong downward curve of pages that are being devalued by Google, then that tells you that website is likely producing a lot of crap. So, they're producing a lot of blogs that aren't in their niche, or they're just producing a lot of AI surface level content that adds no real value. So that website is probably selling links, or is probably a PBN, or is probably just a bad website. That very, very small chance of that last one. It's probably the other two. So yeah, don't rely on just DR30 and 1K traffic. Make sure you check for the traffic trend. Is it growing? Referring domain trend, as well as pages in the top 100 trend. If you have all three of those metrics tracked alongside DR30 and 1K traffic, and they all check out, then I think you have a pretty good website. But if either of those metrics are not tracking out, then I would take a step back and evaluate whether or not you want that website. I definitely wouldn't pay $300 for it. That's for sure.
So from what you're saying is DR is a vanity metric. It's a few layers deeper than that you really need to explore that. And I feel the same way about DA. Any of the D authority scores, AS, DA, they're all just, people bring them up to us as a metric. So, how do we get this increasing? But there's so many deeper layers to looking at the individual pages, what keywords they're ranking for, the index rate, all the other factors behind that score that is only just a 50% snapshot of what's actually happening on the website.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely dangerous to rely just on one metric, like Lawrence was saying, because that's easily manipulated. But what's hard to manipulate is like all 5 of those metrics at once, because all of those, when they're aligned, they give you very strong evidence that a website is doing really well and is liked by Google, is liked by users. So it's probably a legitimate website. And if you wanted to fake all of those things, then the answer is to build a good website.
Yeah. Indirectly putting the hard work to fake all those things would be just make a real website, guys. Like just make it genuine,
Yeah.
That's too hard, right? It's easier to fake those things. Imagine if all the affiliate bros out there spent a lot of time building genuine brands. And I think that's more of the movement these days. They probably do pretty well knowing what they know, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people are starting to pivot that way as well. Like what I've seen with a couple of like SEOs that I know is you start off like as an SEO bro, like you're just trying to manipulate the algorithm. Yeah, that's typically how the maturity like trend goes. It's like first you're just trying to manipulate the algorithm as much as you can, stuffing exact match keywords like all over your page. It reads horrendously and is clearly like SEO broed, no UX as well. I'm just going to smash as many keywords as I can on the page. And as many dirty backlinks as possible as well for the lowest amount of cost to see if I can get to the top.
Well, actually, on the other side, and that's the path I fundamentally took, is more of that white hat, let's just do everything ethically approach. But then you come somewhere towards the middle and go, yes, some of this can be really useful from a tactical, let's win the game perspective, which I really appreciate and love. And it's a competition in business. It's a competition in SEO. But then, you do have to do things that morally make you sleep better at night. Although, at the end of the day, we're just ranking websites. We're just trying to do it in the most methodical and risk-free and smart way possible. And that's right there in the middle.